The message was simple. Earth needed help. What came back changed everything humanity thought they knew about the galaxy. The year was 2347. Earth was dying slowly. Power plants were shutting down one by one. Food production systems were failing. Water purification centers could barely function. The planet that once seemed so strong was now on its knees. Captain Saracen sat alone in the communication center. The room was dark, except for the glow of screens around her. She was tired. Everyone was tired. But someone had to do something. Sarah took a deep breath. Her fingers moved across the keyboard. She was writing a message to the Galactic Council, a place she had only read about in files. A group of alien species that watched over the galaxy. "This is Earth," she typed slowly. "We need repairs. Our systems are dying. Please help us." She pressed send. The message shot into space at the speed of light. Now, all she could do was wait. Days passed, then weeks. No response came. Sarah checked the communication systems every hour. Nothing. The silence was heavy. Maybe the aliens didn't care. Maybe they never received a message. Maybe Earth was truly alone. Then on the 15th day, everything changed. Alarms started screaming across the communication center. Red lights flashed everywhere. Sarah jumped from her chair. Her heart was racing. "What's happening?" she shouted. A young officer pointed at the main screen. His hand was shaking. "Captain." Something just appeared in Earth's orbit. Sarah looked up. Her mouth fell open. A massive ship hung in space above Earth. It was enormous, bigger than anything humanity had ever built. The ship was dark silver with lights pulsing along its sides. It looked both beautiful and terrifying. "How big is that thing?" Sarah whispered. 10 times larger than our biggest space station," the officer replied. His voice was barely audible. Suddenly, a voice filled the communication center. It was deep and calm. "Definitely not human. We receive your request. Prepare for delivery." Sarah grabbed the microphone. Her hands were trembling. "Delivery? We asked for repair parts. We need equipment to fix our systems." There was a pause. Then the alien voice laughed. It wasn't a mean laugh. It sounded almost friendly. "Humans always ask for so little," the voice said. "You will understand soon." Before Sarah could respond, something happened. The massive ship began to move. 3 huge cargo pods detached from the bottom. They were each the size of a football field. The pods started descending toward Earth. Sarah watched the screens. Her hands were shaking now. The pods were coming down fast. They were heading straight for the United Earth headquarters. "What did we just receive?" she whispered to herself. When the first pod opened, Sarah couldn't believe her eyes. This wasn't repair equipment. This was something else entirely. The 3 cargo pods landed with a loud boom outside the United Earth headquarters. The ground shook like an earthquake. Dust filled the air. Everyone ran to the windows to see what had arrived. Captain Saracen stood next to General Marcus. He was the head of Earth's military forces. His face was serious, as always. Both of them stared at the giant pods sitting in the field. "Should we approach them?" Sarah asked. General Marcus nodded slowly. "We don't have a choice. We need to know what's inside." Soldiers surrounded the pods within minutes. They carried weapons, but nobody knew if guns would even work against alien technology. Sarah and Marcus walked forward together. Their boots crunched on the dry grass. The first pod was massive and smooth. It was made of some kind of metal that seemed to change colors in the sunlight. There were no visible doors or windows, just a perfect silver surface. Then suddenly, a line appeared down the middle. The pod began to open with a hissing sound. Cold white smoke poured out. Everyone took a step back. Sarah squinted through the smoke. Her eyes went wide. "What is this?" she whispered. Inside the pod were rows and rows of weapons. But these weren't normal weapons. They glowed with blue energy. There were rifles that seemed to float slightly, shields that created force fields, armor that looked alive. General Marcus walked closer. He picked up one of the rifles carefully. It was lightweight, but felt powerful. "This is military technology. Advanced military technology." "But why?" Sarah said, We asked for repair parts, not weapons. Before anyone could answer, the second pod began to open. More cold smoke filled the air. But this time something different happened. A smell came out. A wonderful smell that made everyone stop and breathe deeply. "Is that coffee?" one soldier said. Sarah moved to the second pod. Inside were hundreds of strange machines. They were beautiful, made of crystal and metal combined. Each machine had tubes and buttons that glowed softly, and the smell of fresh coffee was coming from all of them. Suddenly, a blue light appeared in the air. It formed into a shape, an alien hologram. The alien looked almost human, but with larger eyes and silver skin. It smiled at them. "Greetings, humans. I am Ambassador Velex from the Galactic Council." Sarah found her voice. "Ambassador, we asked for repair equipment. Why did you send us weapons and coffee makers?" The alien smile grew wider. "These are Krev coffee makers. They are very special. Your species will need energy for what is coming." "Energy? What do you mean?" General Marcus demanded. "All will be explained soon. First, you must see the third gift." Everyone turned to look at the third pod. It was different from the other two. It wasn't just sitting there. It was humming, a deep sound that you could feel in your chest. The surface was glowing with orange and red lights. Sarah felt afraid suddenly. "What's in the third pod?" Ambassador Velex's face became serious. "That pod contains your future. But I must warn you, once it opens, there is no going back. Earth will never be the same." The third pod's humming grew louder. The lights grew brighter. Something was activating inside. Something big. Something powerful. General Marcus grabbed Sarah's arm. "I think we should move back." But it was too late. The third pod began to open. Nobody expected coffee to change everything. But this wasn't ordinary coffee. This was alien coffee. And it turned humans into something more. The third pod stayed closed for now. The glowing stopped. The humming became quiet again. Ambassador Velex's hologram faded away with one final message. "First, learn to use the coffee. Then you will be ready." Captain Sarachin didn't understand. How could coffee prepare them for anything? But orders were orders. Scientists were called to examine the strange coffee makers from the second pod. Dr. James Lynn was Earth's top food scientist. He approached the crystal machines carefully. His team set up one of the Krev coffee makers in the headquarters laboratory. It was beautiful up close. The crystal parts seemed to pulse with soft light. How does it work? Dr. Lynn asked himself. As if answering his question, the machine turned on by itself. It made a gentle humming sound. A cup appeared from nowhere. It simply materialized under a silver spout. Dark liquid poured into the cup. The smell was incredible, rich and warm and inviting. Dr. Lynn picked up the cup. It was hot, but not too hot. The liquid inside was darker than any coffee he had ever seen. It seemed to swirl on its own. "Should I drink it?" he asked Sarah through his communication device. Sarah was watching from the control room with General Marcus. She hesitated. "We don't know if it's safe." "Only one way to find out," Dr. Lynn said. He lifted the cup to his lips and took a small sip. His eyes went wide immediately. The cup fell from his hands, but it didn't break. It just floated back to the machine. "Dr. Lynn, are you okay?" Sarah shouted into the microphone. Dr. Lynn looked at the camera. His face was full of shock and wonder. "This is impossible. I can see everything. My mind is so clear. I feel like I can solve any problem." "What do you mean?" General Marcus asked. "Run tests on me. Quickly, you need to see this." The medical team rushed in. They connected Dr. Lynn to monitors. The results came back in minutes. Everyone in the control room stared at the screens in silence. Dr. Lynn's brain activity had increased by 400%. His reaction time was twice as fast as before. His heart rate was perfect. Blood pressure was perfect. There were no side effects at all. Just pure energy and focus. "This shouldn't be possible," one doctor said. "No stimulant works like this." But it was real, and it lasted for 6 hours. When the effects wore off, Dr. Lynn felt normal again. Not tired, not sick, just normal. like he had taken a refreshing nap. Word spread quickly through the headquarters. Everyone wanted to try the alien coffee. Within days, all the Krev coffee makers were activated and running. The results were incredible. Military pilots drank the coffee before flight simulations. They moved their ships like they could see the future. Their accuracy improved so much that computers couldn't keep up with them. Engineers worked on broken systems for 20 hours straight without stopping. Problems that had taken months to solve were fixed in minutes. They saw solutions that were always there but invisible before. Doctors performed surgeries with perfect precision. Teachers taught with clarity they never had before. Artists created masterpieces in single sessions. Earth's productivity exploded in just 1 week. The dying planet suddenly had hope again. Systems were being repaired faster than they broke down. New technologies were being developed every day. But Captain Sarah Chin was worried. She stood in front of the third pod that still remained closed. General Marcus stood beside her. "Why give us this?" Sarah said quietly. "The Galactic Council doesn't even know us. Why help Earth?" Marcus stared at the glowing pod. The humming had started again, louder this time. Maybe that pod is our answer. As if hearing their words, Ambassador Velex's hologram appeared again. His silver face looked serious now. "You have learned to use the coffee. Your people are enhanced. Your minds are sharp. Your bodies are strong. Now you are ready." "Ready for what?" Sarah demanded. "To receive your final gift, and to learn the truth about why we are really here." The third pod began to shake. The orange and red lights flashed faster and faster. The humming became a roar. General Marcus grabbed his radio. "All units move back. Move back now." But Sarah couldn't move. She was frozen in place, watching, waiting. The third pod surface began to split open, not like a door, like a flower blooming. Metal petals folded outward. Light poured out from inside, bright blue light that lit up the entire field. And then Sarah saw it. Inside the pod wasn't a thing. It was a factory, a massive production facility that seemed bigger on the inside than the outside. Machines moved on their own. Blueprints appeared on holographic screens. Building plans, weapon designs, ship specifications. Ambassador Velex spoke again. His voice was loud and clear. "Humanity asked for repairs. We give you the ability to build a war fleet because you're going to need it." Sarah's blood turned cold. "Need it? For what?" The alien's face showed something that looked like sympathy. "Because you are no longer alone in this galaxy, and not everyone is friendly." What came out of that pod wasn't just a gift. It was a warning. And Earth was about to find out why the galaxy had been watching them all along. The alarms were deafening. Red lights flashed across every screen in the United Earth headquarters. Captain Sarah Chun ran to the main control room. Her heart was pounding hard. "Report. What are we looking at?" she shouted. A young officer pointed at the large screen on the wall. 50 ships, Captain. Unknown design. They just appeared at the edge of our solar system. They're heading straight for Earth. General Marcus pushed through the crowd of people. His face was grim. "How long do we have?" 48 hours at their current speed, another officer replied. Sarah felt her stomach drop. 48 hours. 2 days to prepare for an invasion. Earth had no military fleet, no defense against an attack from space. They were helpless. Ambassador Velex's hologram appeared in the center of the room. His silver face looked calm, but his eyes showed urgency. "Ambassador, who are these ships? What do they want?" Sarah demanded. "They are the Kresh Empire. Slavers. Raiders. They search the galaxy for weak planets. They take resources. They take people. They sell them across the stars." The room went silent. Everyone stared at the alien hologram. General Marcus stepped forward. "Why didn't you warn us before? Why wait until now?" "Because you needed to be ready. The coffee has enhanced your people. The weapons are in your hands. And now the factory will give you ships. Everything you need is here." Sarah looked at the third pod. The factory inside was massive. Machines were already moving, building something. But how could they build an entire fleet in 48 hours? It was impossible. We can't build warships in 2 days, she said, even with your technology. Ambassador Velex smiled slightly. Humans always doubt themselves. That is your weakness and your strength. The factory is not just machines. It is alive. It will teach you. It will guide you, and your coffee-enhanced minds will understand. He was right. Sarah realized it immediately. The engineers who had been drinking the alien coffee were already at the factory. Their eyes were bright with understanding. They looked at the holographic blueprints and nodded. They saw things that should have been impossible to see. "We can do this," one engineer said with confidence. "I don't know how, but I can see the entire ship design in my mind. Every wire, every panel, every system." The factory began to hum louder. The machines moved faster. Metal shaped itself into hull pieces. Energy cores formed from pure light. Weapons assembled automatically. But these weren't normal ships. Sarah could see that clearly. The designs on the screen showed something incredible. The ships were biomechanical, part machine and part living tissue. They would think. They would adapt. They would bond with their pilots. "This is beyond anything we've ever created," General Marcus whispered. "That's the point," Ambassador Velex said. "The Kresh Empire has conquered hundreds of worlds. They are strong, experienced, brutal. You need every advantage to survive." Sarah turned to face the hologram directly. "Why are you really helping us? Tell me the truth." The alien was quiet for a moment. Then he spoke softly. "Because the galaxy has been watching Earth for a long time, watching your species grow, watching how you fight, how you survive, how you never give up. Many species see humans as weak, primitive, easy targets. Some empires see you as future slaves. Others see you as resources to harvest. A few see you as threats to eliminate before you become too strong." Sarah felt anger rising in her chest. "We've been alone all this time, struggling, dying, and you just watched." "Yes, because we needed to know what humanity truly was. Would you give up when things got hard? Would you accept slavery to survive? Or would you fight? Now we know the answer. You asked for repairs to fix your broken systems. Simple repairs. But we gave you upgrades instead. We gave you weapons. We gave you coffee that enhances your abilities. We gave you a factory to build a war fleet. And you didn't hesitate. You didn't ask why. You didn't refuse the gifts. You adapted. You learned. You prepared. That is why we chose to help you." General Marcus clenched his fists. "The Kresh Empire. They're coming here to test us, aren't they? This is all part of your plan." Ambassador Velex nodded slowly. "The Kresh test new species for the Galactic Council. They are brutal but predictable. If you can defeat them, you prove you belong among the stars. If you cannot, then Earth was not ready anyway." Sarah wanted to scream. They had been manipulated, set up, used as test subjects. But she pushed the anger down. There was no time for emotions now. The enemy was coming, and Earth had to be ready. "How do we pilot these ships?" she asked, forcing her voice to stay calm. "The ships will bond with coffee-enhanced pilots. They will become extensions of your bodies. Your thoughts will control them. Your instincts will guide them." The first warship rolled out of the factory 12 hours later. It was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. Sleek black hull with blue energy lines running along its surface. Wings that moved like they were breathing. Weapons that glowed with contained power. Sarah walked up to the ship. She placed her hand on its surface. It was warm, alive. She felt a connection immediately, like the ship was greeting her. "I'll take this one," she said. "We'll call it the Hope." Over the next 36 hours, 20 more ships were completed. Small fleet compared to the 50 Kresh vessels coming toward them. But each ship was powerful, advanced, ready. The coffee kept everyone awake and focused. No one was tired. No one made mistakes. Engineers, pilots, soldiers, scientists. Everyone worked together like a perfect machine. General Marcus stood on the command deck, wearing a pilot suit. Sarah stood beside him in her own suit. They looked at Earth through the viewport. Their home, their planet, worth fighting for. We're outnumbered, Marcus said quietly. We always have been, Sarah replied. Humanity has always fought against impossible odds. This is just another day for us. The 48 hours ended. The Kresh fleet appeared on all the scanners. 50 massive warships, dark and ugly, built for destruction. A message came through, a rough voice speaking broken English. Weak humans, your planet belongs to Kresh Empire now. Surrender immediately. We will take your resources. We will take your people. Resistance is death. Sarah looked at Marcus. He was smiling, actually smiling. They don't know, do they? He said. No, they don't know what we become. Sarah opened the communication channel to all Earth ships. 21 vessels ready for battle. 21 coffee-enhanced pilots connected to living warships. This is Captain Sarah Chun to all units. The enemy thinks we're weak. They think we're easy prey. Let's show them what humanity really is. For Earth, the fleet moved forward. Human reflexes enhanced by alien coffee. Advanced technology bonded to human determination. It was a combination the Kresh had never faced before. The battle began. Earth had 48 hours to build a fleet. Impossible? Not with alien technology and coffee-powered humans who refused to surrender. Space was silent, but deadly. Captain Sarah Chun sat in the pilot seat of the Hope. The ship's controls felt natural under her hands, like she had been flying for years instead of hours. Through the viewport, she could see the Kresh fleet, 50 dark warships arranged in attack formation. They looked like giant insects made of metal and hate, weapons pointed forward, ready to destroy. Sarah took a deep breath. Then she drank from the small cup attached to her seat. The alien coffee filled her mind with clarity. Time seemed to slow down. She could see everything, every movement, every possibility, every strategy. All units, this is Chun. Stay close, but stay flexible. These ships are bonded to you. Trust them. Trust yourselves. 20 voices responded with confirmation. General Marcus was in the ship beside hers. The warrior pilots were ready. Engineers who became fighters. Teachers who became warriors. Ordinary humans who became extraordinary. The Kresh sent another message. The rough voice sounded annoyed now. Humans build toy ships? You think 20 vessels can fight 50? Surrender now. We show mercy. Maybe. Sarah opened the channel. Her voice was steady and strong. This is Earth. We don't surrender. We don't run. If you want our planet, come and take it. There was silence, then harsh laughter from the Kresh commander. Brave words from dead species. Attack. Destroy them all. The 50 Kresh warships moved forward like a dark wave, their weapons charged with red energy. Missiles launched from their hulls, hundreds of them streaking through space toward Earth's small fleet. Evasive maneuvers. Now! Sarah shouted, but she didn't need to shout. Every pilot was already moving. The coffee enhancement made them react before they even thought. Their minds were connected to their ships. They moved as one. The Hope twisted to the left. Missiles passed by so close that Sarah could see their metal surfaces. But none of them hit. Her ship dodged like it could see the future. All around her, the other vessels were dancing through the missile storm, spinning, rolling, diving. Not a single ship was hit. The Kresh missiles exploded harmlessly in empty space. Impossible, the Kresh commander screamed. No species moves like that. General Marcus laughed over the communication channel. You've never fought humans before. Big mistake. All units return fire. Sarah commanded. 20 Earth ships opened fire at the same time. Blue energy beams shot forward. These weren't normal weapons. They were smart weapons. Weapons that learned and adapted. Weapons that never missed. The beams hit the Kresh ships with perfect accuracy. Shields exploded in bright flashes. Hull armor melted like butter. 3 Kresh vessels went dark immediately, destroyed in seconds. The Kresh formation broke apart in confusion. They scattered like frightened animals. This wasn't supposed to happen. Humans were supposed to be weak. Easy prey, not deadly hunters. Sarah felt the Hope respond to her thoughts. The ship wanted to fight, wanted to protect Earth. She let it guide her. Together, they moved through space like a sword cutting through darkness. A Kresh ship appeared in front of her, its weapons charged, about to fire. But Sarah was faster. The coffee made her reflexes superhuman. She fired first. The blue energy beam cut through the enemy ship from front to back. It exploded in a ball of fire. Target destroyed. The Hope's voice whispered in her mind. The ship could talk to her. They were truly bonded. All across the battlefield, the same story repeated. Coffee-enhanced humans piloting biomechanical ships, moving faster than possible, shooting with perfect accuracy, fighting with coordination that seemed telepathic. The Kresh were veterans of 1,000 battles. They had conquered hundreds of worlds, but they had never faced anything like this. Their experience meant nothing against opponents who could think and move at superhuman speeds. 10 Kresh ships destroyed, then 15, then 20. The Kresh commander's voice came through again, but this time it sounded different. Afraid. What are you? You're not normal humans. This is impossible. General Marcus responded, his voice cold. We're humans who got tired of being prey. We're humans who decided to fight back. And we're just getting started. 5 more Kresh ships exploded. The enemy formation was falling apart completely now. Some ships tried to run. Others tried to group together for defense. Nothing worked. Sarah saw a cluster of enemy vessels trying to regroup. Marcus, I see 6 targets at coordinates Delta 4. Can you handle them? Watch me, Marcus replied. His ship, named the Fury, shot forward like a missile. It moved so fast it was just a blur. Blue energy beams fired in rapid succession. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All targets destroyed in less than 10 seconds. The remaining Kresh ships stopped fighting. They just floated in space. Weapons powered down. Their crews were in shock. This can't be real, the Kresh commander whispered. 50 ships, 50 experienced warships, defeated by 20 human vessels. How? Sarah moved the Hope forward until it was face-to-face with the Kresh command ship. She could see through its viewport. The commander was a large creature with 4 arms and gray skin. Its eyes were wide with fear. You came to take our planet, Sarah said calmly. You came to make us slaves. But you forgot something important. What? The Kresh commander asked quietly. Humans don't give up. Ever. No matter the odds. No matter the enemy. We fight. We adapt. We win. The Kresh commander lowered his head. We surrender. Please, let us leave. General Marcus appeared on Sarah's communication screen. Should we let them go, Captain? Sarah thought about it. The coffee made her mind clear. She could see all the options. Kill them all. Send a message to the galaxy. Or show mercy. Prove that humans were not monsters. Let them go, she said finally. But they take a message back to their empire. Earth is not for sale. Earth is not weak. And anyone who attacks us will face the same fate. The Kresh fleet turned around slowly. Damaged. Broken. Ashamed. They left Earth's solar system as fast as her engines could carry them. 21 Earth ships remained. Not a single one destroyed. Not a single pilot lost. It was a perfect victory. Impossible but real. Sarah looked at her crew through the communication screens. Engineers. Scientists. Teachers. Ordinary people who became heroes. They were tired but proud. They had saved their world. Take us home, she said softly. The fleet returned to Earth. People were waiting. Millions of them watching screens. They had seen the battle through satellites. They knew what happened. Their planet had been saved. Ambassador Velex's hologram appeared one more time. He was smiling now. Really smiling. Well done, humans. You passed the test. You proved you belong. But Sarah wasn't smiling. She was thinking. The Kresh said we just declared war on an empire of 10,000 worlds. The alien nodded. Yes, that is true. General Marcus stepped forward. 10,000 worlds. And we have 21 ships. For now, Ambassador Velex said, but you have the factory. You have the coffee. You have the weapons. And most importantly, you have something no other species has. What's that? Sarah asked. You have the human spirit, the refusal to give up, the ability to adapt and overcome. That is worth more than any technology. Sarah looked at Earth through the viewport. Her home, beautiful and fragile, now protected by humans who became warriors in 2 days. But in her heart, she knew the truth. This was just the beginning. The creche would tell others about what happened here. The galaxy would know about humanity now. Some would respect them, others would fear them, and some would want to destroy them before they became too powerful. The aliens who helped Earth weren't being kind. They were being smart. And now humanity was about to understand a real game being played in the galaxy. 3 days after the battle, Captain Sarah Chin stood in the communication center once again. But this time she wasn't alone. General Marcus was there. President Lee of United Earth was there. All the military leaders and scientists were gathered. Something big was about to happen. The screens around the room suddenly lit up, not with one face, with hundreds of faces, aliens of every kind imaginable. Some looked almost human. Others were completely strange. Creatures with multiple eyes, beings made of light, entities that seemed to be living water. In the center of all these faces was one figure, tall and elegant, skin like gold, eyes that glowed with ancient wisdom. This was the Galactic Council leader. Greetings, humanity. I am Council Leader Xanda. We have been watching you for a very long time. Sarah felt anger rise in her chest, watching us struggle, watching us die, while you did nothing. Xanda nodded slowly. Yes, that is correct, and I understand your anger, but there is much you do not understand about the galaxy. President Lee stepped forward. He was an old man, but his voice was strong. Then explain it to us. Why did you send Ambassador Velex? Why give us weapons and coffee and warships? Why set up the creche attack? The council leader's golden face showed something that might have been respect. Because we needed to know what humanity truly was. Let me tell you a story about the galaxy. The screens changed. They showed images of thousands of planets, millions of species, an entire galaxy full of life. The galaxy is old, Xanda continued, very old, and it has seen many species rise and fall. Some became great, built empires that spanned star systems, created technology beyond imagination, and then they destroyed themselves with that same technology. Others remained small, peaceful. They never fought, never expanded, never grew. When dangerous enemies came, they surrendered, accepted slavery, accepted death. They are gone now, too. Sarah watched the images change. Planets turned to ash. Civilizations collapsed. Species vanished from existence. So the Galactic Council created a test, Xanda said. A way to see which new species had the potential to survive, to grow, to become something important in the galaxy. The Creche Empire, General Marcus said quietly. They're your tests. Yes, the Creche attack new species that reach a certain level of technology. Species that can send messages into space. Species that might one day become threats or allies. The Creche are brutal, experienced. They have conquered hundreds of worlds. But they have a weakness. They expect their enemies to be afraid, to give up, to surrender easily. When they face a species that fights back with strength and intelligence, they fall apart. President Lee's face was hard. You used us. You tested us like laboratory animals. We observed you, Xanda corrected gently. There's a difference. We gave you the tools you needed, but we did not fight for you. We did not control you. Every choice was yours. Every action was yours. Ambassador Velex's hologram appeared beside the council leader. When Earth sent its message asking for repairs, the council debated for days. Some members said humans were not ready, too violent, too divided, too weak. But I argued for you. I said humans had something special, a fire inside that never went out. So the council agreed to test you properly. Sarah felt her anger slowly fading. The coffee. Why coffee? Xanda actually smiled. Because humans already love coffee. You drank it every day. It was part of your culture. So we gave you coffee that would enhance what you already had, make you faster, smarter, better. But the coffee didn't change who you were. It just revealed your true potential. And the weapons? The warships? Marcus asked. Tools. Just tools. Many species receive the same gifts. Most of them hoard the weapons. Fight among themselves over who gets what. They destroy each other before the Kresh even arrive. But humans? You shared everything immediately. Engineers help pilots. Scientists help soldiers. Everyone worked together. That is rare in the galaxy. Very rare. The images on the screens change again. Now, they showed Earth's battle against the Kresh. 21 ships against 50. The impossible victory. You were outnumbered, Xander said. Outgunned. The enemy had more experience. More ships. More weapons. By all logic, you should have lost. Should have been destroyed or enslaved. But you won. Not because of our technology. Technology is just metal and energy. You won because of something inside you. Something we cannot give or take away. The refusal to surrender. The ability to adapt in seconds. The coordination without telepathy. The courage to face impossible odds. President Lee was quiet for a long moment. Then he spoke. What happens now? The Kresh will tell their empire. 10,000 worlds will know about Earth. Yes, Xander agreed. And that is the final part of the test. What will humanity do now? Will you hide? Will you prepare for endless war? Or will you step forward and take your place in the galaxy? Sarah understood suddenly. You're offering us membership in the Galactic Council. We are. Earth has proven itself worthy. You faced the test and passed. You showed strength and mercy. You won the battle but let the defeated enemy leave alive. That shows wisdom. But Xander's glowing eyes became serious. Membership comes with responsibilities. The galaxy is not peaceful. There are many threats, many dangers. The Council protects thousands of worlds, fights against slavers and destroyers, maintains order in the chaos. If you join us, Earth will have allies, protection, access to technology and knowledge beyond your imagination. But you will also have duties. You will need to help other worlds, fight when necessary, stand against evil wherever it appears. General Marcus looked at Sarah. Sarah looked at President Lee. The president looked at all the leaders gathered in the room. Can we have time to discuss this? President Lee asked. Of course, Xander said. This is not a decision to make quickly. Take your time. Debate. Consider all options. The Council has waited for humanity for centuries. We can wait a few more days. But Sarah already knew her answer. She could see it in Marcus's eyes, in the president's face, in every person in the room. We don't need time, Sarah said, stepping forward. I'm just a captain, not a leader, but I fought in that battle. I saw what humans can do when we work together, when we fight for something worth protecting. Earth has been alone for so long, struggling, surviving, barely holding on. Now you're offering us a chance to be part of something bigger, to have allies, to have a purpose beyond just survival. She took a deep breath. But we won't join as weak members who need protection. We'll join as equals, partners. We have our own ideas, our own methods, our own way of doing things. If the Council can accept that, then yes, Earth will join. The communication center was silent. Everyone held their breath. Hundreds of alien faces on the screens watched and waited. Then Xander smiled. A real smile, warm and genuine. We expected nothing less from humanity. You asked for repairs to your broken systems. We gave you weapons, coffee, and warships. But what we really gave you was a chance to prove who you truly are. And you took that chance with both hands. You didn't hesitate, didn't complain, didn't give up. You adapted. You fought. You won. That is the human way. And the galaxy needs that way now more than ever. The other council members began to speak, voices in 100 different languages. But the translation came through clearly. Welcome, humanity. Welcome to the Galactic Council. President Lee stepped forward. We accept, but we have conditions. Earth remains independent. We make our own laws, our own choices. We help the Council, but we are not slaves to it. Agreed, Xander said immediately. That is how all Council members operate. We are allies, not masters and servants. Also, General Marcus added, we keep the factory. We keep producing ships. We keep the coffee makers. And we share that technology with other Council worlds who need it. Xander laughed, a sound like bells ringing. The coffee, of course. Humans and their coffee. Yes, you may keep it all. In fact, the Council would very much like to trade for more of those ships you built. They are quite impressive. Ambassador Velek stepped forward in his hologram form. I told you the Council made the right choice with humanity. They will change the galaxy. Make it better. Stronger. Sarah felt something in her chest. Pride. Hope. Purpose. Earth was no longer alone. Humanity was no longer struggling in the darkness. They had a place now. A home among the stars. But she also felt something else. Responsibility. The weight of representing an entire species. The knowledge that harder challenges would come. When do we start? She asked. Immediately, Xander replied. There's a world called Tever in the Outer Rim. Pirates are attacking it. The local defense is weak. They need help. Would Earth be willing to send ships? Sarah looked at Marcus. He grinned. The fleet is ready. When do we leave? As soon as you wish. Welcome to the real galaxy. Humanity. It's dangerous. It's beautiful. It's full of wonder and terror. And now it's your home, too. The screens faded to black. The Council meeting was over. But a new chapter was beginning. President Lee turned to Sarah and Marcus. You two started this. You sent that message asking for help. You fought the first battle. You spoke for Earth to the Council. So I make it official. Captain Chun, you are now Admiral Chun, Commander of Earth's Space Fleet. General Marcus, you are now Fleet General, second in command. Together, you will lead humanity into the galaxy. Sarah wanted to refuse. She was just a communications officer who got lucky, but she looked around the room, saw the hope in everyone's eyes, the pride, the belief that humanity could do this. I accept, she said quietly. For Earth. For Earth, Marcus echoed. Outside, the sun was rising over the planet. A new day, a new beginning. Somewhere in space, the factory was already building more ships. Coffee makers were producing the alien drink that enhanced human abilities. Engineers were learning. Pilots were training. Scientists were discovering. Earth had asked for repairs. The galaxy gave them so much more. Weapons to defend themselves. Coffee to enhance their minds. Warships to protect their home. And most importantly, a place among the stars. The human species had entered the galactic stage, and they would never be the same again. Earth joined the Galactic Council, but joining was the easy part. Now humanity had to prove they deserved to stay, and the galaxy was watching closely. Admiral Sarachin stood on the Bridge of the Hope. It had been 1 week since Earth joined the Galactic Council, 1 week since everything changed. Now she was about to lead humanity's first mission beyond their solar system. Behind her ship were 15 other Earth vessels, the best pilots, the most skilled crews, all of them enhanced by the alien coffee, all of them ready to prove that humans belonged in the galaxy. General Marcus appeared on her communication screen. He was commanding the Fury, flying beside her. Coordinates locked in. The planet Tever is 3 jumps away. Are we ready for this? Sarah looked at the star map in front of her. Tever was a small world on the outer rim of the galaxy, home to a peaceful species called the Tavari. But pirates had been attacking them for months, stealing their resources, kidnapping their people. The local defense forces were too weak to stop it. We're ready, Sarah said. This is what we signed up for. Time to show the galaxy what Earth can do. She opened the channel to all ships, all units. This is Admiral Chun. We are about to make our first jump into deep space. Stay in formation. Stay alert. We don't know what we'll find out there. But remember this. We represent Earth. We represent humanity. Whatever happens, we face it together. Understood? 16 voices responded. Understood, Admiral. Sarah took a sip from her coffee cup. The familiar warmth and clarity filled her mind. Time to go to work. Jump in 3, 2, 1, jump. Space twisted around them. Stars stretched into lines of light. The ships entered hyperspace. It felt like falling and flying at the same time. Sarah had jumped before during training, but this was different. This was real. They emerged near a small yellow star. Tever was the third planet, blue and green, beautiful from space. But Sarah's sensors showed something else. 6 large ships orbiting the planet, dark holes covered in weapons. Pirate vessels. Contact the Tavari government, Sarah ordered. Let them know we're here to help. A face appeared on the screen. The Tavari looked almost like humans, but with pale blue skin and large eyes. This one was old with worry lines on his face. I am Prime Minister Kelvin. Are you the Earth fleet the Council sent? Yes, sir. Admiral Sarachun. We're here to stop the pirates. Kelvin's expression was doubtful. 16 ships? The pirates have 6 warships and dozens of fighters. They are experienced raiders. No offense, but Earth is new to the galaxy. Are you certain you can handle this? Marcus laughed on the communication channel. Prime Minister, we just defeated 50 Kresh warships with 21 vessels. 6 pirates? That's a warm-up exercise. The Kresh? Kelvin's eyes went wide. You defeated the Kresh? But they are... I heard rumors, but I thought you really won. We really won, Sarah confirmed. Now let us handle these pirates. Are there any Tavari hostages on those ships? Yes, 37 of our people, taken over the past month. Please, if you can save them. We will, Sarah promised. That's why we're here. She closed the channel and turned to her crew. New objective: disable the pirate ships. Rescue the hostages. No Tavari casualties. Understood? Her crew nodded. This was harder than just destroying enemy ships. They had to be precise. Careful. But the coffee enhancement made it possible. Their minds could calculate attack patterns in seconds. All ships move into attack formation beta. Target weapon systems only. We're not here to kill if we don't have to. The 16 Earth vessels spread out. They approached the pirate ships slowly. Deliberately, like predators stalking prey. The pirates noticed them. A rough voice came through the communication system. Unknown vessels. This is Captain Reyes of the Free Raiders. Turn back now or we will open fire. Sarah responded calmly. This is Admiral Chin of Earth Fleet. You are attacking a Galactic Council-protected world. Release your hostages immediately and surrender. Reyes laughed. A harsh, ugly sound. Earth? Never heard of you. Must be some new weak species try and play hero. Bad choice. Attack formation. Destroy them. The 6 pirate warships turned to face the Earth fleet, their weapons charged with red energy. Dozens of small fighter ships launched from their hulls. The pirates were confident. 6 large ships plus 50 fighters against 16 unknown vessels. They thought they had the advantage. They were wrong. Evasive pattern Delta, Sarah commanded. Show them what humans can do. The Earth ships moved, not like normal vessels. They danced, twisted, spun through space with impossible grace. The coffee-enhanced pilot saw every incoming shot before it fired. Their bonded ships responded to their thoughts instantly. Red energy beams filled the space around them. Hundreds of shots. None of them hit. The Earth fleet dodged everything like they were playing a game. Return fire. Precision strikes. Weapon systems only. 16 ships fired blue energy beams. Each shot was perfectly aimed. Not at the hulls. Not the engines. At the weapons. One by one, the pirate guns exploded. Disabled. Destroyed. The pirate fighters swarmed around the Earth vessels. 50 small ships attacking from all angles. It should have been overwhelming. But the human pilots didn't panic. They worked together, covered each other, moved like they were one mind in 16 bodies. General Marcus's voice came through, excited. It's like a dance. I can see what everyone is doing, without even looking. This coffee is amazing." He was right. The enhancement didn't just make them faster. It made them work together perfectly. Each pilot knew exactly where the others were, what they were doing, what they needed. The pirate fighters fell one by one, not destroyed, just disabled. Engines shot out, weapons neutralized, pilots left floating in space in their dead ships. Alive but harmless. Captain Ray's voice came through again, but this time he sounded afraid. "Were you? How are you moving like that? This is impossible." Sarah moved the Hope directly in front of Ray's command ship. Her weapons were pointed at his bridge. One shot, and he would be dead. But she didn't fire. "This is your last chance, Rays. Surrender. Release the hostages. Or we disable your life support and leave you floating in space." Silence. Then Ray spoke quietly. "We surrender. Don't shoot. Please." The 6 pirate warships powered down. Their crews opened the airlocks. 37 Tavari hostages floated out in rescue pods. Earth ships collected them carefully, gently, brought them to safety. The entire battle lasted 12 minutes. Not a single Earth ship was damaged. Not a single hostage was hurt. It was a perfect mission. Prime Minister Kelvin's face appeared on the screen again. His expression was shocked. I have never seen anything like that. You made it look easy." "It wasn't easy," Sarah said honestly. "But we trained hard. We prepared. And we had the advantage of surprise. The pirates didn't know what humans could do." "The galaxy will know now," Kelvin replied. "Word will spread. Earth defeated the Kresh. Earth rescued Tever. You are making quite a name for yourselves." Marcus grinned. "Good. Let everyone know. Earth doesn't back down. Earth protects the innocent. Earth keeps its promises." The Tavari government wanted to celebrate. They invited the Earth fleet down to the planet, prepared a huge ceremony. But Sarah declined politely. "We appreciate it, Prime Minister, but we're just doing our job. There are other worlds that need help, other missions waiting. Besides," she added with a smile, "we're still new at this. We need more practice." Kelvin bowed his head with respect. "Then go with our blessing, Earth Fleet. And thank you. You saved our people. We will never forget." The Earth ships left Tever's orbit. The rescued hostages were safe. The pirates were captured and handed over to Council authorities. Mission complete. Successful. Perfect. But as they jumped back toward Earth, Sarah felt uneasy. Something was bothering her. "Marcus," she said privately, "that was too easy." "Too easy? We just fought 6 warships and 50 fighters." "Exactly. And we won without a scratch. The Kresh were supposed to be the big test. But these pirates, they fell apart immediately. What if what?" Marcus asked. Sarah looked at the stars through her viewport. "What if the galaxy is testing us again? The Kresh tested our strength. Tever tested our mercy and precision. What comes next?" Marcus was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "Whatever it is, we'll face it. That's what humans do." Sarah nodded. He was right. Earth had proven itself twice now. Defeated the Kresh. Saved Tever. The Galactic Council was pleased. The other species were impressed. But deep in her gut, Sarah knew the truth. The real challenges hadn't started yet. These were just the beginning. The warm-up exercises. The galaxy was preparing humanity for something bigger, something harder, something that would test them in ways they couldn't imagine yet. She drank more coffee. Let the enhancement clear her mind. Whatever came next, Earth would be ready. Humanity would adapt. They always did. The Hope jumped back into hyperspace, heading home. But Sarah knew they wouldn't be home for long. The galaxy needed protectors, and Earth had volunteered for the job. The adventure was just beginning. Earth's orbital station was full of people celebrating. Admiral Sarah Chun and her fleet had returned victorious. 2 missions, 2 perfect wins. The planet below was alive with joy. Humanity had proven itself to the galaxy. But Sarah didn't feel like celebrating. Something felt wrong. She stood in the docking bay, watching her crews exit their ships. They were smiling, laughing, proud of what they accomplished. and they should be proud. They earned it. General Marcus walked up beside her. He noticed her expression. You're not happy. We just saved an entire planet. Why the long face? I don't know, Sarah admitted. Just a feeling, like we're missing something important. Before Marcus could respond, an alarm sounded. Not the battle alarm. The priority communication alarm. That meant the Galactic Council was calling. Immediately, Sarah and Marcus rushed to the command center. President Lee was already there. His face was serious. The main screen activated, showing Council Leader Xanna. But something was different. Xanna's golden face looked worried. Actually worried. Admiral Chun, General Marcus, President Lee, thank you for responding quickly. We have a situation. What kind of situation? President Lee asked. Xanna's glowing eyes dimmed slightly. The kind that could end all life in the galaxy. We need Earth's help. And we need it now. The screen changed. It showed a sector of deep space, far from any inhabited worlds. But something was there. A structure. Massive. Ancient. Floating in the darkness between stars. What is that? Sarah whispered. We call it the tomb, Xanna said quietly. It has been dormant for 5,000 years. A prison built by an ancient civilization that no longer exists. They created it to contain something terrible. Something they couldn't destroy. Contain what? Marcus asked. Xanna hesitated. Sarah had never seen the council leader hesitate before. That made her afraid. A species called the Devourers. They are not like other species in the galaxy. They don't build. They don't create. They only consume. They eat entire planets. Strip them of all life, all resources, everything. Then they move to the next world. 5,000 years ago, they nearly destroyed the entire galaxy. Billions died. Thousands of civilizations fell. The ancient builders managed to trap them in that structure, lock them away forever. Or so we thought. The image changed again. Now it showed the tomb up close. Cracks were appearing on its surface. Red light was leaking out, pulsing like a heartbeat. The tomb is breaking, Xanna continued. We don't know why. Perhaps it was only designed to last 5,000 years. Perhaps the Devourers found a way to weaken it from inside. But in approximately 72 hours, it will collapse completely. And the Devourers will be free again. The command center went silent. Sarah felt her blood turn cold. An enemy that destroyed civilizations. That nearly ended all life in the galaxy. And it was about to escape. How many are inside? President Lee asked. We estimate 3 million Devourer ships, each one capable of destroying a planet in days. Marcus's face went pale. 3 million? The entire Galactic Council fleet has maybe 50,000 ships total. We can't fight 3 million. No, Xanna agreed. We cannot, but we can try to repair the tomb. Seal it again before it breaks completely. The ancient builders left instructions, blueprints, but the work is dangerous. The Devourers will fight to prevent the repairs. That's why we need Earth. Your ships are fast. Your pilots are enhanced. Your coordination is perfect. We need a small fleet to go to the tomb. Hold off the Devourers that are already escaping. Give our engineers time to seal the cracks. Sarah understood immediately. You need us to be the shield, to protect the engineers while they work. Yes, it's a suicide mission, Admiral. I will not lie to you. The Devourers are stronger than the Kresh, deadlier than any pirates. Many of your people will likely die, perhaps all of them. But if you succeed, the galaxy survives. If you fail, everything ends. Every world, every species, everything we built over thousands of years. Gone. The room was silent again. Sarah looked at Marcus. He looked at President Lee. This was the real test. The Kresh were measuring strength. Tevra was measuring mercy. But this was measuring sacrifice. How long do we have to decide? President Lee asked. Hours. The tomb is deteriorating fast. We need ships there within 24 hours, or it will be too late. President Lee turned to Sarah. Admiral, this is your decision. You command the fleet. You know your people. Can we do this? Sarah thought about her crew. Young pilots who just learned to fly. Engineers who were teachers a month ago. Ordinary humans who became heroes because they had no choice. Could she ask them to die? To fly into certain death? To face an enemy that destroyed civilizations? But then she thought about Earth. About the billions of people living their lives. Children playing. Families laughing. Artists creating. Scientists discovering. All of them unaware of the danger coming. She thought about the galaxy. Thousands of worlds. Trillions of beings. All of them depending on someone to stand between them and destruction. I need to talk to my people first, Sarah said. I won't order them to die, but I'll ask them to volunteer. Understood, Xanda said. You have 12 hours. Then we must know Earth's answer. The communication ended. The screen went dark. Sarah stood there for a long moment. Then she activated the fleet-wide channel. All Earthfleet personnel. Report to the main auditorium immediately. This is not a drill. 30 minutes later, the auditorium was full. Every pilot, every engineer, every crew member. 200 people who had joined Earth's fleet to explore the stars. To have adventures. Not to die. Sarah stood on the stage. Marcus beside her. She looked at all the young faces. So much hope. So much potential. And she was about to ask them to throw it all away. I'm not going to lie to you, she began. Her voice was steady, but her heart was breaking. The Galactic Council just contacted us. There's a threat. Something called the Devourers. 3 million ships that will destroy the galaxy if they escape from their prison. She explained everything. The tomb. The cracks. The 72 hours. The suicide mission to buy time for repairs. The Council needs volunteers. A small fleet to hold the line while engineers work. It's dangerous. Probably deadly. Most of us won't come back. But if we don't go, the galaxy ends. Earth ends. Everything ends. She paused, looked at each face. I'm asking for volunteers. Not ordering. This is beyond duty. Beyond responsibility. This is asking you to die for people you've never met. Species you've never seen. Worlds you've never visited. If you want to stay, no one will judge you. You've already done more than anyone could ask. You defeated the Kresh. You saved Tever. You've earned the right to live your lives. The auditorium was silent. No one moved. No one spoke. Then one pilot stood up. Lieutenant James Park, 23 years old. Joined the fleet 2 weeks ago. I volunteer Admiral. I didn't join Earthfleet to be safe. I joined to make a difference. If this is how I can make the biggest difference, then I'm in. Another pilot stood. Then another. Then 10 more. 20. 50. Within minutes, every single person in the auditorium was standing. 200 voices spoke as one. We volunteer. Sarah felt tears in her eyes. She tried to speak, but her voice caught. Marcus stepped forward. You're all insane, he said. But he was smiling. Brave and insane. Just like humans should be. All right then. We have 12 hours to prepare. Let's show the galaxy what Earth is really made of. The crews rushed to their ships. Loading extra ammunition. Running system checks. Drinking coffee. Lots of coffee. The alien enhancement would keep them sharp for the battle ahead. Sarah contacted Xanda. Council leader, this is Admiral Chun. Earth accepts the mission. We're sending our entire fleet. All 16 ships. 200 crew members. +1, Marcus added. I'm going too. Xanda's golden face showed something that might have been sadness. Thank you, Admiral. Thank you, General. The galaxy will remember Earth's sacrifice. We're not dead yet, Sarah said firmly. Humans don't give up easy. We might surprise you. You already have, Admiral. You already have. 24 hours later, 16 Earth ships emerged from hyperspace near the tomb. The structure was enormous. A sphere the size of a moon. Ancient metal covered in symbols from a dead language. And it was breaking apart. Huge cracks spread across the surface. Red light poured out like blood from a wound. And through those cracks, ships were emerging. Devourer ships. They looked organic. like insects made of metal and flesh. Hundreds of them were already out. More were coming every minute. Sarah looked at the engineering vessels behind her fleet. 5 council ships carrying the equipment to seal the tomb. They needed 30 minutes to complete the repairs. 30 minutes for 16 ships to hold back an endless swarm. All units, Sarah said calmly. This is it. The biggest fight humanity has ever faced. We hold the line for 30 minutes. No matter what. If we fall, the engineers fall. If engineers fall, the galaxy falls. But we won't fall, because we're human. And humans don't know when to quit. She took a long drink of coffee. The enhancement flooded her system. Time seemed to slow. She could see everything. Every ship, every angle, every possibility. For Earth, she said. 200 voices responded. For Earth. The Devourer swarm turned toward them. Thousands of ships. More coming every second. The battle for the galaxy was about to begin.